Manchester United joins the long list of clubs that are definitely on the hunt. Manchester United joins the long list of the clubs that are on the big hunt for the Arsenal superstar Eddie Nketiah. Thank you for watching Arsenal Official Television, and do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Official Television has to bring to you. Right about now, we're telling you about Eddie Nketiah's hot cake session. Right about now that he is definitely being looked for. He's wanted by a very big number of clubs. Very many clubs want this gentleman, and is Arsenal definitely willing to give him out, or it will be yet another wasted opportunity for other clubs, as many clubs definitely need this gentleman. Is it going to be is it going to lead into results, or this is definitely something that is not going to happen for the clubs? He is definitely a big hunt. Manchester United needs him, Crystal Palace need him, Aston Villa need him, Newcastle need him. I'm telling you, the 22-year-old is one of the best that Manchester United can have, but the question is, will they have him? Will they be able to have this 22-year-old, this Eddie Nketiah? So it will be remembered that when he joined Arsenal at the 1st of January 2019, he was not the best at that moment, but Arsenal have tried their level best to groom this gentleman, to bring up this gentleman, and results have come through, because he's definitely one of the best right about now. And Eddie Nketiah is a hot cake in the English Premier League, and many clubs are definitely after him. So the striker, who is definitely a wide striker, is aiming as much as he can to put goals in the net. What he wants, definitely what he says will work for him, is putting goals in the net. Everything else can wait, but what he's focusing on is putting goals in the net. It will be remembered that he played a bit for in the academy. This is just an academy graduate, and an Arsenal academy graduate. He's played for actually only just 2 clubs in his entire life, and all this was in the academy. He played for Chelsea, and he also in the academy, and then he played for Arsenal in the academy. It will be remembered that at one point in time he was loaned at Leeds United, and he had to come back to Chelsea, to Arsenal, where he says this is the home of football, and according to him, Arsenal is the home of football. It will be remembered he was loaned a bit in Chelsea, but things didn't work out very well out there. Though it was a good season for him while he was at Chelsea, because I remember it was they took the championship title, and that was it. He played quite a bit well, but he didn't like the atmosphere. He didn't love the atmosphere at Leeds United. So looking at 2019 and 2020, that was the season of the championship season, one of the best. And we will be also remember that he's from Ghana, this Ghana superstar, one of the best. The fact that he's from Ghana, he has 2 citizenships. He has a Ghanaian citizenship, and also he's also an English international. And the English definitely are not willing to give him out. Looking at Eddie Nketiah and his mode of playing, why he is definitely one of the best reasons as to why he's being hunted by Manchester United, hunted by all these clubs. These clubs are definitely looking for him, and seeing who his mentor is. He says his mentor is Ian Wright, and Ian Wright came out and also said this is one of the gentlemen that are perfect at striking, the best forwards that Arsenal has at the moment. And he was spotted by Ian Wright some time ago when he was still in the academy. Ian Wright said this gentleman Arsenal need to groom a very good gentleman like him. And looking at his mode of playing and his style of playing, he plays much more like German Defoe, but he plays like German Defoe, but his interest is not playing like German Defoe. His interest basically is playing much more like Ian Wright. So looking at his sharp shooting abilities from all angles, he can this is the reason as to why he's hunted. I'm telling you, reasons as to why Nketiah is hunted by Manchester United and is hunted by Crystal Palace, is hunted by Newcastle, Aston Villa, and much more clubs, many more clubs. His shooting ability is the best. It doesn't matter where he is, every angle he is at, he is able to shoot deep down into the goals. As long as he can see the net, that's what matters. He will put the leg into the net. He'll, at any angle, the goal will be in the net. That's one exceptional about Nketiah. A very good football player, one of the best forwards that Arsenal has ever had, one of the best products from the Arsenal Academy. He is a very brilliant footballer, one of the best, very good man, very good man. Looking at what people saying that Arsenal should not think of selling Nketiah, and no matter what the amount of money they are given, what they would buy with him. As the fan of Arsenal, we need young players with potential like Nketiah. Thank you, and that's very right. That's very right. That's Johannes Hepa saying so. That's very right. Arsenal needs these young players. The mere fact that the fact that clubs are now seeing his potential and they want him does not help Arsenal as a club. Arsenal shouldn't sell Nketiah, but later on we'll be telling you what the manager said, what this gentleman has said. So we'll be letting you know what's Mikel Arteta's opinion about all this. Of course, this gentleman, Mikel Arteta, as he came out and said things about this gentleman, and it was sort of a disclaimer that he said. It was a little bit of a disclaimer. We'll be bringing to exactly what this gentleman said, and the mere fact that all these clubs are looking forward to signing him, and what's the manager's opinion. Okay, so Patrick Vieira, who is one of the old boys at Arsenal, has also agreed and says he will put all the money, will force the club, which is Crystal Palace, will force Crystal Palace to buy this gentleman. Because this gentleman will solve the striking problems at Crystal Palace. Then David Moyes also came out and said he cannot withstand the ability of this gentleman, one of the best gentlemen, one of the best. David Moyes said no way, because this is definitely a good chance for him to sign this gentleman. West Ham need him. West Ham, David Moyes has insisted, because the striking at West Ham is not fine, so he definitely thinks that this could be one of the reasons as to why West Ham should have him. Then Eddie Howe from Newcastle also accepts the mere fact that Nketiah is the best, one of the best in the English Premier League, and the major fact that he's still young, 22 years old, means that he still has a great future ahead of him. So if any club take him, for example, Aston Villa, Steven Gerrard also wants him. If a club like Aston Villa takes him, which Aston Villa are heading, they really want this gentleman, that means a lot is going to be done for Aston Villa, because it's years ahead. Then again, looking at Manchester United, that definitely it's the latest coming in. Manchester United is the latest coming in. It's the biggest club that is coming in right about now, that needs Nketiah. And this is not from just Manchester United, but it's also from the incoming manager of Manchester United. So and the interim manager also has spotted this gentleman. The interim manager, Ralph Rangnick, has spotted this gentleman and said, no way, this gentleman needs to come to Manchester United. But do you think it's worth, with the rivalry between Manchester United and Arsenal, do you think Nketiah, a graduate from the academy, is going to be going to Manchester United? Do you think it's worth it? So, let us know what you think. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think this gentleman should be going to this club, to Manchester United? Put in the comment section and we see how it goes. But I'll be giving also my opinion, and I'll see. And Birungi Alphonse says, when Willock went, we thought it would affect us, but it didn't. We need a more reliable striker, not Nketiah, but I salute him for what he's doing in the crisis time. And that's not my opinion, that's one of the fans' opinions. That's Birungi Alphonse. And so this person is saying if he goes, it's okay. But Birungi Alphonse, you need to understand that Manchester United will put in all money to have this gentleman. And the person that is behind, the person that is definitely behind all this is the new manager, the Amsterdam Ajax manager, the manager that is coming to Manchester United. It will be remembered that he's very good at sporting. He's called Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is very good at sporting these young talents. He makes talent. He doesn't focus at big players. He just wants young players like Nketiah who have got much more time. So Erik ten Hag is going, if he has him, that is of more disadvantage. It will be a very big disadvantage for Manchester United, I'm telling you. Not even Manchester, it will be an advantage for Manchester United, but it will be a very big disadvantage for Arsenal, because Arsenal will have been robbed of big and young talent that could make wonders and miracles at Arsenal in the following years, in the coming years. So, final few months of his career deal at Arsenal, I remember Nketiah signed a contract and it's in its final deals, final terms. It's coming to an end. The contract is going to be sealed off. The contract is coming to an end. It's just coming to an end. Looking at this factor that it is, he now has the ability, the option, because the contract is ending. He's in his end points of he is ending the contract, and the ending of this contract, this is somebody Arsenal has built. Arsenal has built this gentleman. This means that the mere fact that Arsenal has built this gentleman is not built just to sell. No, it shouldn't be sold. It should remain at Arsenal so that Arsenal can have fruits from the young club, from the academy. So he proved Arteta wrong so Arteta also came out. Arteta came out and said, no way, I didn't expect much as Nketiah is playing. Mikel Arteta came out and he agreed the mere fact that Nketiah is performing well. And one of the reasons as to why this manager Mikel Arteta agreed, and he even went to an extent of apologizing. Mikel Arteta apologized to Nketiah because the reason as to why he apologized is not because he was just being funny. It's because he has come out and realized that it was quite unfair for him not to give him enough gameplay. And this came after a few seasons, after a few games, but the game that made most impact on him was the game from Chelsea. Him coming on the game of Chelsea and scoring 2 goals proved him wrong. And Mikel Arteta didn't have anything to resist. He said, honestly speaking, Mikel Arteta came out and said, this is the best thing to be done. He said, I'm sorry for not playing. He feels disappointed for not playing Nketiah. Felt very much disappointed for not playing Nketiah, and he has said he's willing to give him as much game time as he can. However, more officials in there think he's still lacking, but maybe could have been a little bit of more effort needed from this gentleman, and that was from the inside of the club, inside of the Emirates, as a few people are still having a little bit of doubt. So what could be the reason as to why it could be? Let's first look at his market value right about now. His market value, transfer value is 8 million euros to 14 million euros. Looking at this, a club like Manchester United can definitely afford this. That's why we need to be very, very, very careful with this. 8 million euros is market value, is market value right about now. 8 million euros is nothing to a club like Manchester United. And again, it's nothing to a club like Newcastle United that has just been bought by those Arabs that have a lot of money, because it's rated as one of the biggest. The owners are the most. Newcastle owners are the most rich in the English Premier League. Actually, even in the football era. So, releasing this amount of money will be very easy for them to get this gentleman on. You know, and that shouldn't be. And when we contacted his agents, the Elite Project Group Limited, that's his official agents, that's the player agent of Nketiah. They said they are open to any options that will be coming, and that is very critical. The mere fact that they said they are open, Arsenal should be very careful with this, because if an agent says he is open to any options, that means they can easily sell their player to any other club. So, and he joined 1st January in 2019, and his contract is definitely expiring in June the 30th of 2022. That should be something that Arsenal need to understand. The mere fact that his contract is getting done on June 30th, 2022. That means that exactly something has to happen. A big decision is going to take place in his life. This is not a player whom clubs have just seen and said, it's okay, we can have you, we're going to buy you. No, even his contract is getting done on the June 30th. 2022, which is very close. We could see Nketiah leaving. So somebody saying, just to let you know, Manchester United have no interacting any Arsenal players in what I know. That's according to what you know. But latest coming in is that Manchester United needs this gentleman. So I don't know where you're getting that from, but we have verified information coming in that Manchester United need Nketiah. And looking at Manchester United and their ability to buy young players, the fact that Erik ten Hag is going to Manchester United, that is a big threat, because Erik ten Hag doesn't focus on big players. No, he focuses on young players, and his mode of play is not the modern football, but he's trying to implement the modern football, which we will also try to implement at Manchester United by buying these young lads and playing them and making talent, developing talent. That is something that we need to understand. That's something that we definitely need to understand. So looking at Nketiah and looking further into why Arsenal definitely needs not to let this gentleman go. Arsenal, remember, right about now, Arsenal is its main reason as to why it wants the reason as to why it should have this gentleman playing is because I look at the results of, you need to value the results of the old players who at Manchester United and these young lads. It will be remembered that these young lads give their best because they have a lot to lose. However, clubs, big, not clubs, players, big players have nothing much to lose, I'm telling you. Big players don't have a lot to lose because they have already made a name for themselves. They have already made a name for themselves. Therefore, that means that they don't have much to lose. But a person like Nketiah who has a big future ahead of him, that means that Nketiah wants to prove the world that he can play quality football, and that at the end of the day, that's what the club needs. At the end of the day, club needs a person like Nketiah. Young players, when you give these young players a chance to play, they will always show that they are worth giving the chance. Look at the goalkeeper. Look at Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe is playing perfect. He's playing very nice football. Smith Rowe, I like him. He's playing quite great, nice football. And when you look at Smith Rowe, he's a young lad trying to explain, trying to put a point across that he definitely needs a chance. And he's been given a chance. The fact that he's been given a chance, he wants to be a star. He wants to prove many people that he is one of the best. And that type of hunger is what is definitely needed. And Chamhanjure Eli says Nketiah is not for sale. That's true. Eddie Nketiah shouldn't be for sale at all. He's just young blood, a young player that definitely needs much more grooming than ever before. And he needs to stay at the club, because if Arsenal need a good future, they need to plan for it right about now. If we need a good future, we're not going to buy good players. No, that's not something that Arsenal does. It will be remembered that Arsenal do not buy a lot of big players. So we have to center ourselves on these young lads that are playing very well. These young lads are playing very, very, very well. And if right about now, the percentage of young players in Arsenal is good, and they have proved a point that they can even do much better than they are already doing. And honestly, for a club like West Ham under David Moyes sporting this gentleman, look at the clubs that need him: West Ham, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and the latest is Manchester United. Manchester United, with the rivalry between Arsenal and Manchester United, and I could say I was not seeing this coming through. I didn't see this coming through. As Manchester United are dedicated, they want this gentleman very much, putting sporting agents on the focus. But Manchester United, I don't think Manchester United should have this gentleman. No, Arsenal must do as much as they can to keep this gentleman. When we say, looking at what Ian Wright said there is no reason whatsoever for Arsenal. There's no reason whatsoever for Arsenal to sell this gentleman to any club, because he is still young and full of hope and talent. And I agree. For some reason, I agree with Ian Wright, because this is what, at the end of the day, this is what a club needs. Any big club, this is what they need. Any big club needs a person like Nketiah. They need a good player like Nketiah, because he's still young and he has a big future ahead of him. He has a big future ahead of him. If he plays very well, which he is playing very well right about now, scoring as many goals as he can, that definitely means that he is going to be one of the best in the English Premier League, and definitely not only in the English Premier League, but one of the best in the football fraternity. That is a very good point to note. Very, very good point to note. And Eddie Nketiah, looking at his mode of play, being able to score goals at any angle, that's an extraordinary talent, because it doesn't matter whether he's in the left wing or the right wing. All he does, and he says it, all he needs is to point the ball into the net, and he does it perfectly well. And you can everybody knows he's very good at that, and he's said it himself. He's very good at that. And taking the opinion of this gentleman, the former coach Arsene Wenger, and what Arsene Wenger said, looking at how Arsene Wenger raised these lads, the mode of playing Arsene Wenger used to, because all these successful football players, the big players, they started from somewhere. And the mere fact that Arsene Wenger is one of the people that believes in young talent, brings up talent when it is still young, brings up talent when it's in the genesis, and trains these lads and puts them up there. Sometimes it was about getting a little bit of money on them, but now it's not getting money out of these players. It's definitely getting the best out of the players. So, and it will be remembered that Nketiah is an exceptional talent. Let's go a little bit in the comment section and we see what is right about there. And we see Nketiah, somebody saying Nketiah no for sale, and I agree with that. Then is Nketiah Champions League level, though I think he can upgrade on him. Yeah, it's always it's something gradual. It's not a one-day thing. It's something that goes on a little bit more and more. Then somebody else is saying, I think Nketiah will have a similar career to Jermaine Defoe. He will be a decent Premier League striker, but it's whether he is willing to accept the backup role. Definitely, he's a young lad, and with a big future ahead of him, he has no option other than proving the world that he is the best striker that he can have, the world can have. And let's see, Isaac Banda says Arsenal must give Nketiah a long contract, and that's, he says, Arsenal for life. That's very good, and that's a very good point. That's a very good point what Isaac Banda said, saying that Arsenal must give Nketiah a long contract. I agree with that 100%. Arsenal should give something like a 5-year contract. Okay, maybe 5 years is okay, ranging from 3 years to 5 years. That's what's needed of Arsenal. If Arsenal could give this gentleman 3 to 5 years contract, that will be good. At least something will be got out of him, and he will make the money they want to sell him off for. So Nketiah should not be sold at any cost. That's very good, and that is Oluleyo Owojori says Nketiah shouldn't be sold at any cost. Thank you for watching Arsenal Official Television, and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Official Television has to bring to you. I'm telling you, we bring to you everything sporting. Make sure you subscribe. We bring to you everything sporting, and as long as it is in the transfer season, we bring to you the transfer gossip, transfer rumors, and also we tell you everything that you need to know about these transfers. If you are interested in who is going where, and as long as it's Arsenal, we are dedicated to bringing that to you. I just subscribed. You've made some good points. So thank you. I'm building my channel too to give my Arsenal views as well as enough. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being part of us. It's always good when we unite, and thank you for being part. So, as I told you before, it shouldn't be a factor of money. It should be a factor of the future of Arsenal, a factor of the future at the Emirates. It shouldn't be money at all, not at all. It should be a factor of these lads playing nice football, because we need the English Premier League. Looking at what is currently happening right about now in the English Premier League, looking at what is happening in the English Premier League, definitely Arsenal being is going to meet Arsenal is going to meet Tottenham Hotspur, and this is the run for the championship and Champions League, run for Champions League. This definitely is something big, and we predict that Nketiah is not going to miss at all in this period, in this match. He's not going to miss, and we predict that he is going to be scoring goals. Just watch, he might score 1 or 2 goals in this game, because this is definitely his area of specialisms, goal scoring. Him being one of the best strikers at Arsenal, I'm telling you, the game tomorrow is also going to prove, because Mikel Arteta has come out and said he doesn't want to miss any more opportunities. And one of the reasons as to why he came out, he said it's not good that he has not been playing Eddie Nketiah. It's not okay for him. I just like Arsenal for some reason. I like this club, because when you see how Arsenal gives these young players a chance, and with these young players, Arsenal is in the 4th position in the English Premier League with these young players. That means the coach, the manager, needs to be given much more time so that he can develop these players even much more. Do you know what I mean? Even much more. There's somebody saying Nketiah belongs to Arsenal. That's very true. One of the best that Arsenal can ever have. So, the fact that his contract is definitely going to be, his contract is done, is going to get done. He's finishing his contract on the June 30th of 2022. That means that he could be looking for greener pastures. But what I can tell you that the greener pastures could be nowhere apart from Arsenal. As you already know, Arsenal is one of the best clubs that any football player can come and play for. So he doesn't need to look for greener pastures, but his agents came through, Elite Project Group Limited, who are responsible for this gentleman. They came through and said definitely they will be having this gentleman with open options signing to any club, but still they said they do not see his options also leaving the club. So which parts of the world are you watching from? Which parts of the country are you watching from? Make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell. For some reason, at this very moment, I want to thank Soul. There's this gentleman called Soul Ignacio Alcala. Thank you for tuning in. You're a very big fan, and I say big up to you, and thank you for loving us, and thank you for being part of Arsenal Official Television. And whatever you're doing, we definitely say thank you for being part of this great movement. Thank you for being part of the Gunners. You're one of the best that I've ever met here at this channel, because you always engage with us, and we say thank you very, very much. It's Arsenal Official Television. Make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Official Television has to bring to you, as we are telling you that hot cake Nketiah, hunted by Manchester United and much many more clubs, and he is definitely not going to give up, and definitely he loves Arsenal. We can tell you and confirm to you that he definitely loves Arsenal, and this could be the right time for him to make a right decision, either stay at Arsenal or go away. But definitely Arsenal still need him. Arsenal still need this gentleman. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of Arsenal Official Television, and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Official Television has to bring to you right about now, as we're looking into much deeper into Nketiah's happy decision to stay at Arsenal. Nketiah is definitely going to stay at Arsenal, and that's what we think right about now. But with all these clubs interested in him, with Eddie Howe interested in this gentleman, with Steven Gerrard interested in this gentleman, Patrick Vieira interested in this gentleman, Eric Ten Hag insisting that this gentleman should be at Manchester United, we both know the truth that that shouldn't happen. Deep in everyone, every Arsenal fan deep down inside knows that it's going to be a wrong move. It will be a wrong move for Arsenal to sell this gentleman, this young player, because it's nothing at all. It's not good at all, because if this young player is sold, that means there are chances that a big player is going to be bought, and this big player is not going to bring results. The mere fact that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang left for Barcelona, left a big hole at Arsenal. They needed a big player. They needed a big player to join Arsenal, and even they needed an extremely talent for Arsenal, because when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang left, that left Mikel Arteta in a very confused situation, in a big dilemma to make a perfect replacement for him. And the fact that we could be seeing some of the Arsenal players leaving, and Lacazette, let's talk about Lacazette. Lacazette's contract is also getting done. It's going to be written off, getting written off. And Lacazette's contract is expiring. He needs a new contract signing. But Arsenal might not be interested in Lacazette anymore because his results have not been the best of recent. That definitely means that Lacazette can play for another club, not Arsenal. He can go and play for another club, not Arsenal. we can be written off, we can say goodbye to Lacazette, but there needs somebody like Nketiah back in the shoes of those great players. So, and as we've already told you, young talent is always the best. It's always good to have young talent at any club, and this gives a club like us, like a club like Arsenal, it gives it a much more hope. And building a club, when we look at building a club, you don't just build a club from just buying players or buying big massive players. You build a club from right in the academy, and academy graduates have always proved that they can play nice football. So the fact that he's been spotted, that Nketiah has been spotted by all these clubs. It's actually around Europe. Many clubs are now seeing him, but the very interested latest update is from Manchester United. That definitely means that Manchester United also need this gentleman, and Arsenal shouldn't allow this to happen. Arsenal shouldn't allow Manchester United at all. My honest opinion. Now I'm giving my honest opinion about selling Nketiah. That we've been giving opinions from other people what Mikel Arteta thinks, because Mikel Arteta said he's not in for selling this gentleman, and that's perfectly okay. And I can understand why he says he doesn't want to sell this gentleman, because Mikel Arteta, if he has confessed and apologized to this gentleman for not giving him enough gameplay, that means that he realizes that it's right about time to give him enough gameplay, enough gameplay so that he can prove the world, so that he can score as many goals as he can at Arsenal. And if he scores as many goals as he can, that means that we will be heading into maybe the Champions League comfortably, not next season, and just not fidgeting or right, because the fourth position isn't bad, but also you need to understand that even though the fourth position is not bad, there is also the first position in the English Premier League. So we shouldn't go as the in the fourth position. We should go in the first position, and that's what Arsenal is about. So make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Official Television has to bring to you, because we bring to you the latest about transfers, anything that has transfers in it, as long as it is Arsenal. So Ian Wright saluted the decision for Arsenal keeping this gentleman, and since Ian Wright since he accepted and said this gentleman should stay at Arsenal, who are we? We also accept, because he's one of the professionals. He's one of the professionals at Arsenal. Ian Wright says definitely he should stay, and that is a perfect decision that can be made. If Ian Wright says there is no reason as to why Arsenal should sell this gentleman, then Thierry Henry also, looking at Thierry Henry's reaction towards the hot cake Nketiah's hunt by a big number of clubs, and Thierry Henry, one of the best football players, graduates from the Arsenal club, one of the old boys at Arsenal Football Club at the Emirates, also doesn't think that it's a great idea for Arsenal to sell a young, talented football player like Nketiah, the Ghanaian international and also English international, who has come yet to play for Arsenal, and he's graduated from the Arsenal club, Arsenal Academy, and also he's played for Chelsea and was on loan from Leeds United. So what do you think? Do you think it's a good thing to sell, or it's going to be a little bit of a divide up and putting him on sale? Maybe Arsenal could raise more funds because he's a young player that has a big future. Arsenal could raise. Let's also look at it in that perspective. Arsenal could sell this gentleman and buy, maybe, because he's at the epic of he's at the top of his career. in terms of talent. We're talking about terms of talent. In terms of talent, he is at a point where he can be sold and Arsenal can get a lot of money. But it will be remembered that selling this gentleman will not solve any problem at Arsenal. And now this is where my honest point of view comes in. I think Arsenal will be making a big mistake if they have to sell this gentleman. If Arsenal decides to sell this gentleman, it will be a big mistake for a club that is struggling to join the Champions League. It will be a big mistake for a club that is much more struggling to join the Champions League because it's in the 4th position in the English Premier League. So, do not forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching Arsenal Official Television. Make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything Arsenal Official Television has to bring to you. And right about now, we tell you with the transfer experts, if you want to join us, it's Arsenal Official Television. Do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell as we're telling you goodbye and bye for now.